Fear itself. Fear itself. Marcus Dehart.
Madam Toastmaster, fellow Toastmasters, guests, a few weeks ago, I was having a conversation with my wife. She was telling me about an article she had read about the most common phobias in the United States. She said that among the top 3 were the fear of flying, the fear of public speaking, and then she emphasized that the number 1 fear in America was the fear of spiders. Now, I don't know what she's been telling you, but I am not arachnophobe. I'm here to set the record straight. You see, arachnophobia is the irrational fear of spiders, whereas my fear of spiders happens to be perfectly rational. I can trace it all the way back to when I was a little kid, sitting at my father's knee, literally on the floor while he was sitting on the couch watching TV in the family room, when I spotted a spider crawling across the floor. Being the good kid that I was, I jumped up, ran across the room, and stepped on it. But I got away. Slipped under a crack, but I couldn't get to it. Now, I'll never forget the words my father said to me. He said, "Marcus, you shouldn't have let it get away. Now it's going to get you." Well, maybe I don't remember the laughter, but I do distinctly recall the very next morning waking up with no less than 5 spider bites. So ever since that day, I've always approached spiders with great caution, being careful to aim clearly and accurately so I can kill them on the first strike so they don't come back to get me later. Well, over the years, I've had to develop some strategies for dealing with these pests. And I'd like to share some of those with you today. But before I share my top 3 techniques for killing spiders, I want to share with you a few cautionary approaches that I think you would be better off not trying. Now, the first that I would not recommend is stepping on them. As my story illustrates, they can get away. Spiders have the ability to curl up into little tiny balls and fit into cracks and hide under the carpeting. And when you least expect it, they'll climb up your shoe, up your leg, into your pants, and you just don't want to go there. The second technique that I don't recommend is using a broom. Now, I like the idea of a broom. It's got this nice long handle, puts some distance between me and that spider. But what's on the end of that handle? It's a bunch of flexible bristles without the strength to crush the living daylights out of a spider. Instead, they'll work their way into the bristles and hide there until you don't know when they're coming out, and then it's up the handle, up your sleeve, in your shirt, and you don't want to go there. So, what would I recommend? Here we go. First technique, drown the critters. As we all know, spiders are notorious peeping toms. That's why you often find them hiding and lurking in tubs and showers, waiting for you to walk in unsuspecting. Well, when you do, turn on the water, full force, scalding hot. And if you're like me, you'll invest in a detachable sprayer so you can get every corner of the shower. And once that spider goes down the drain, keep the water running for a little while because you don't want to be rinsing the shampoo out of your hair, look down, and see those tiny little spider eyes staring up at you from the drain. So, the next technique is to suck them up, with a vacuum cleaner, of course. Now, you could use a standard upright vacuum cleaner, but my choice is a hose with an extendable wand. Again, keeping the distance from the spider. So, just make sure that you can get up in those corners, underneath the furniture, behind the curtains, anywhere. Even suck them out of the cracks. Just make sure that they don't jump onto the wand again, climb up your sleeve, in your shirt, in your hair. Don't go there. Now, my final technique is my favorite. Goes all the way back to when I was a teenager. Back in those days, my friends would walk around with, pocket knives and nunchucks and semi-automatic weapons. You wouldn't catch me dead without a can of bug spray. At night, I lay down a barrier around my bed to keep them out of my territory. I keep one tucked underneath my pillow at night for those late-night visitors who decide to pull a Tom Cruise Mission Impossible descending on a single strand of silk to surprise me in my sleep. Try saying that 3 times fast. Many a spider has crossed my path only to crawl away, choking in their final death throes. So, I'm sure you've all heard those stories from people who say that spiders are our friends. They're beneficial bugs. Some people will even go so far as to say they are not blood-sucking vampires. Let me tell you, these are the true arachnophobes. They are so paralyzed with fear that they become friends with the enemy. Do not, I repeat, do not listen to their rhetoric. If you come across a spider, I urge you to strike. Strike hard. Strike fast. And whatever you do not let it get away. Because if you do, it's going to get you. Madam Toastmaster?